Tremble at their imposing sight, run in vain from their mighty arrows. And today, guys, we're back with a showdown between the Tomb Kings, who shall be led by Cetra the Imperishable, and he's going to be on top of his mighty Sphinx. So no chariot of the gods, but nonetheless, the Sphinx certainly can do some heavy lifting. And he's going to be facing off against the Dark Elves, who shall be helmed by Malekith the Witch King atop his mighty big black dragon. So as far as the build goes, we're going to be going pretty deep with the Nehekara Horsemen, and I really actually think they're one of the best units on the entire roster. I mean, for the cost, they have really good stats. 28, 35, and 38 weapon strength. That's really high for how cheap they are. I think they cost like 650. Just a great skirmisher unit. They can deal with Dark Riders. They can chase down repeater crossbows. They give you some really good presence on the battlefield, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. We got two of those bad boys. Aside from that, there's going to be one group on the far side as well. I think there's 3 in total, so it looks like there's 2 over there. And I could have sworn I had one more, but anyways, we'll find it over the course of the battle, but there's at least 2 over there. And for the main line, we have one group of chariots. Not going too deep in the chariots. I just wanted to have them to kind of punch to the front line and give me some utility, because Dark Elves have some pretty good answers against chariots. Often you're going to see Cold One Knights and a lot of high mass units like that, Slanesh's Harvesters, so there's a lot of things they have to stop chariot play, but I still think bringing in like one can, provide some pretty good utility, punching through the back line, etc., etc. For the main line, it's going to be a combination of Skeleton Spearmen and Tomb Guard, sneaky snakes in the back, so Cetra is pretty powerful, as it pertains to dueling. He has the Blessed Blade, some really good buffs, but still, him fighting Malekith alone is still, it's a fierce fight for sure. So I figured I should bring some anti-large to help. So we do have Necropolis Knights with halberds, and they're pretty good against like Cold One Knights. They have poison. I just think they're a solid unit. Not to go like all in with, but just having one, like I said, I think gives you a lot of utility here. And plus we have things to protect. We have the Chosen of the Gods. We do also have Ushapti Greatbow. So having some anti-large protection here in the back, I think is going to be crucial. We do also have some carrion, and that's pretty much it. So for my opponent's army, the great Zach S. Bane, or Zach's Bane, I think is what it is. He does have a couple of groups of Blackguard and Agaron here in the front. It's going to be 3 of those bad boys. And these guys, they're pretty durable against Tomb Kings. My Tomb Guard will most certainly bounce off the 100 armor of these guys. And yeah, we're going to see how it goes. Anti-large, armor piercing, pretty good against constructs. Granted, if you catch them moving, can hit them, hit and run, you can get some pretty good value. But every time I see their top knots, it reminds me of the Black Legion from 40k. They kind of have a similar thing. And that's like in the corn red color, like the corn. If any of you guys play 40k, there's a paint called corn red, and it just reminds me of that. But anyways, I digress. 3 groups of the Black Guard, pretty solid, like I said. It's a nice little defensive build. He's going to be anchoring here on 2 groups of Reaper Bolt Throwers. So it's kind of one of those builds that is going to force me in. 350 range here, so he can outrange my Ushapti Greatbow, so I have to come in and fight the halberds. And, if I'm going to be punching through with my Lord here, Cetra the Imperishable, he does have Malekith, plus these Witch Elves to rampage me. So a really solid defensive build for sure. So 2 Bolt Throwers, a bunch of Dread Spears, and then I believe he does also have Slanesh's Harvesters here in the forest. So not going to be using the Cold One Knights, rather he's going to be relying heavily on his halberds, Malekith, and the Witch Elves and the Bolt Throwers to kind of take down the big targets. So let's get the show on the road, guys, and have some fun. So here in the flank, we do have 2 groups of Nehekara Horsemen. Like I said, waiting in the trees, and I'm taking a bit of a slow angle here, so maybe I'll do some fast forwarding while I go. But basically, I'm just trying to get to the tree line so I can advance out from the trees, and his bolt throwers won't be as devastating to my formation. But basically, what we're going to be trying to do is we're going to be trying to get 2 of the Nehekara Horsemen up and around and see if we can get a little bit sneaky, a little bit, crafty in here. Some schemes for sure. Skarsnik would be proud. And we're going to be trying to jump on top of the Reaper Bolt Thrower here, despite the fact that it is being defended. I think with 2 groups, I should be able to overwhelm it and maybe punch it off. On the other side as well, we're doing the same thing, just 1 group over there. I knew I had a 3rd group, I just couldn't find them, but elusive these bony boys are. So yeah, those guys are going to be going around as well. So we're trying to get a good surround, and the bolt thrower is going to be opening up into my horsemen, but it's not that big of a deal. I lose 2 horsemen there, but these guys are relatively cheap, so it's not a big deal to have them focus hard. It's better than Cetra and the Great Bows taking the firepower. So again, we're going to be sending 1 group here and 1 group here, and we're going to be doing a nice little collapse right here on the Reaper Bolt Thrower, but I didn't know he had Slanesh's Harvesters over here. Very, very good kind of patience here, but I collapse inward with this group, but the other group is going to get caught at the last second. So nice catch there. I temporarily shut down the Bolt Thrower, get some pretty good damage. I try and run, but it's pretty much too late at this point, so I just turn and fight. And the Word of Pain is active on me as well from the Harvesters, so really, really good timing there from Zach. I mean, that's outstanding play. Negative 44 melee attack, putting them to 0, and his guys are going to take like no damage. So we do get some good work on the Bolt Thrower. We're shutting it down, so there are certain aspects of our plan that are going to plan. We're able to shut down the Bolt Throwers temporarily. They're not shooting at the Ushapti Greatbows, and the Greatbows are firing without taking any pressure. So right now we're going to be shooting at the Black Guard. I probably should have just put the AoE one on the Black Guard, I'm thinking, because the other one's probably would have been better against Malekith, but granted, he has good juking, so I think maybe just going after the Black Guard is the right choice anyways. So here we get the Carrion in there as well. So the Carrion coming in the back, kind of distract the halberds. Ushapti Greatbows are teeing off here. My chariots are looking for opportunities, but the big Black Dragon is nearby and can certainly stop me. But here comes a charge. We get it into the back of these halberds here, but we also break the Bolt Thrower crew, which is what I want. And when it breaks and runs, I can then chase it down with some my carrion or some other low value target. So from here, we're going to run in with Cetra. Cetra's going to help out against the halberds, and we're certainly doing some crumping. Cetra's he's pretty mighty up here on the Sphinx, very good against infantry, and we do break that formation. And in the center, the Blackguard are getting really beaten up here by the Ushabti Greatbow play, so quite happy about that situation. So both of us have kind of traded back and forth. He was able to get a group of Netcar horsemen. I was able to kind of get his bolt thrower and do some good damage against the Blackguard here. So in terms of money, kind of spent or lost, I should say, I would say it's pretty even. Malekith, in the meantime, kind of lurking up in the skies. The bolt thrower crew is going to be running here, and the other one's back online shooting. So now he is going to be shooting at my great bows here in the back. And it's not like huge burst damage like an Empire Great Cannon or a Dwarf Great Cannon, but it still adds up over the course of a long battle. So the bolt thrower certainly can do some pretty good shooting here. So he's shooting downtown, getting some nice little pokes into the Chosen of the Gods. And Cetra and company are just trying to isolate where they can, getting picks, taking out a couple models here and there. It's certainly not an easy thing to do. Chariots are just kind of waiting for an opportunity. I'm trying to hope that he'll overextend with some halberds so the chariots can pull in and go after those guys. And the carrion here are just going to be flying over the head of this bolt thrower crew. And maybe I shouldn't have attacked him in retrospect, because you could just fly over the head of them, because here you can see Slaaneish's harvesters are going to be coming in to attack the carrion, and we haven't been able to shatter them yet. They're still kind of holding on and may actually come back. So good play there with the harvesters, should be able to clean those guys up. And my other horsemen, I believe, are kind of sneaking around the back here. You can see I do have one group right here, and one group, I could have sworn there was another one, but anyways, we'll find it later. Gaze of Malice going down right here, and I accidentally run kind of into it. Had I kept running forward, it probably would have been, not as bad, but here I do get away, trying to pull the Blackguard out of position, and over here we do have a fight as well. So the chariots do slam into the Blackguard, but I leave them isolated for a little bit too long. I should have pulled the Skeleton Spears and pulled them back, but I figured let's hold these guys in place and just kind of pound them with the Ushabti Greatbows. But look how fast they kill those chariots. I mean, a lapse in micro for a second on my part, and he really takes advantage, so good stuff. Over here in the middle, Cetra the Imperishable on his big War Cat is going to be jumping and pawing some of these Blackguard, doing some really good damage for sure. I mean, but they're giving it back as well. Cetra is taking a little bit of work, and if Malekith decides to come over, that could be scary. Cetra does have a lot more HP though, about 1,000 more, 1,500 more, give or take. Yeah, probably about 1,000 more. We are able to get some decent cycle charging here with our sneaky snakes on top of the halberds. They do have good AP and decent melee attack. It's 32 against 48 melee defense, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to break through the Blackguard with them, but you still can with some effective cycle charging. In the back, Ushabti Greatbow still teeing off, just trying to pick off these Blackguard, but they're really not buckling. I mean, aside from being shot, I mean, on top of being shot in the back, they're fighting in the front here with these Skeleton Spears, and they're just not going quietly into that good night. So here in the front, Cetra's going to be leading a charge. Now, this is a bit of a risky play. I was like, okay, Witch Elves are nearby, but let's pop the slow on them using Usirian's Incantation of Vengeance. And I try and pull out right now, so you can see the snakes are going to be running, and it looks like one sneaky snake goes back there a little bit too far and rampages the whole unit. Absolute disaster. So I actually felt like, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty close aside from that situation right there. I mean, that's the big thing, because now Cetra has to come in and fight. And is he going to be able to claw his way out of this? Hard to say. So right here we do, of course, drop the Neros Incantation on those guys. And they're going to be tanky, for sure. And Cetra's going to turn on and fight. And he can really put a number on Malekith, especially with the Ushabti Greatbow fire. But man, that rampage was nasty. Look how fast my sneaky snakes get cut down because that one snake overextended. Absolutely brutal stuff. So Cetra does get the Accursed Blades right here, and it's starting to give a little bit of punch to Malekith. Ushabti Greatbow Overwatch Fire coming in as well, doing some pretty good damage. And you can see that Cetra is kind of normalizing the health of these two characters, which is quite nice. Over here in the distance, you can see the Blackguard are going to be fighting against my Skeleton Spearmen. And yeah, it's a grind for sure. We're getting there, we're poking, but I think those Blackguard might actually win it. Ushabti Greatbow is continuing to shoot in against Malekith. And here in the fight, I mean, we have lost our sneaky snakes, and the bounce part is a little bit in the favor of the Dark Elves, but Witch Elves do go down rather quickly against like Tomb Guard and Skeletons, skeleton infantry. Their melee defense isn't the best, and they have light armor. So we might actually be able to burn those guys down, and if Cetra is able to kind of duel Malekith after we soften him up with the Ushabti, we might actually be able to kind of salvage that bad situation. So right here you can see the Dread Spears are going to be chasing. I'll pull some Skeleton Spears from this fight, send them in to meet those guys. One group of Ushabti Greatbows will continue to shoot at the Witch King up here, and the other one's going to be turning and running. So nice little breath attack right there. It does roast a couple of these Sisters of Singing Doom, but it does also get my Tomb Guard, and the curse is now active. So Cetra got below a certain threshold of HP, and his curse is going to be slapping the base all over these units here. So you can see that the Sisters of Singing Doom are going to get just pretty much broken off here. Halberds are broken, so it's nice. We broke the center pocket. He has been able to keep this one Reaper Bolt Thrower online for most of the game, which is incredibly solid. And it looks like it's shooting at Greatbow still, and I don't know, maybe shooting Cetra would be actually the better idea here. I think so. So in the back, I saw Slaaneish's Harvesters coming in, so I drop a summon here with the Ushabti. I'm like, this is it. I need to go for the Alpha Strike. I need to try and get Malekith, but he is an elusive Dark Elf. It's just like playing Eldar in 40k. They always slip away. I'm not able to get him, so here we're going to be jumping onto the Slaaneish's Harvesters, and we should be able to crump these guys pretty bad. I mean, Cetra has 1600 HP, Malekith has 3.2, so almost twice as much, and the bounce power is very heavily in the favor of the Dark Elves here, but aside from Malekith, they don't really have too much power on the field. I guess there's some spears here, So if we're able to kill Malekith, I mean, I certainly think that Cetra would be able to run over all these infantry. One bolt thrower is back, but the Samadhi Shapti are going to be jumping on it, so this is the one I broke earlier. So getting some pretty good value from the Samadhi Shapti, and here we have a pretty good opportunity. So we're going to be jumping on Malekith here, and we get no damage on that one, and he gets us back a little bit, but the Blessed Blade has been popped. We're trying to get as much deeps as we can, and the bounce power, again, ebbing back and forth towards the middle, kind of creeping back and back and down again, but we get a really good punch there. The Ushabti Great Bows get some value, and we're actually able to hurt Malekith pretty bad. So Cetra is going to be turning around with the Cursed Blades, and I try and slow him here. So I use the Usirian's Incantation of Vengeance to put him down to 69 speed, that's what she said, but he's still faster than Malekith despite that. So I'm not able to, or he's still faster than Cetra. So I'm not able to quite get him there. Now that was kind of probably one of my big opportunities. He does get away, so now I have to endure his cycle charging. As far as the ground forces for the Dark Elves, they have some Dread Spears, and some really beat up Black Guard all over the map. So again, it's really going to come down to, can I finish off Malekith? It's going to be tough. We're going to find out if Cetra serves or if Cetra rules or whatever the hell he feels like doing. Some of Dushapti in the back are going to be fighting against the remnants of these troops, but they do disappear as they are a summoned unit. And here you can see that Malekith in the skies is looking for that Alpha Strike. We have the Ushapti Great Bows piling in as well. I'm now out of ammo. Oh, but the fat breath attack and Cetra just takes it in the face. Down to 400 HP. And that breath attack might have been the thing to really seal the deal. We'll see. It's looking pretty tough. 400 HP here. Malekith does overextend a little bit, but we get rampaged by those damn Witch Elves coming in again. And here Narrow's Incantation comes down. It might let us survive one more shot because of the 50% resist. We turn around and start attacking Malekith here. 1700 HP on him. It's really, really tight here, man. The Shopti Great Bows are piling in as well, and we're trying our best. We're getting some pretty good damage, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, man, and Malekith's actually getting beaten up. He's getting beaten up and he's falling back, but Black Guard are coming in. That's probably going to trigger the break here on the Chosen of the Gods. And it looks like army losses might step in here. Hard to say. 461 here. Just the Dark Elf troops coming into the fourth quarter. The rampage from those Sisters of Singing Doom has just been off the charts this game. So here Malekith is just waiting. It looks like there's going to be a Soul Stealer or some sort of witchcraft coming in. And I think that's a Soul Stealer. No, Word of Pain. So he pops it on the Ushapti Great Bows. So what I do is I fall back past the Ushapti Great Bows. I attack the Halberds here, and Malekith then gets trapped up on the Ushapti Great Bows. So I counterpunch him, but he's able to get through, and here comes the big attack right there. Cetra's going to be turning and fighting, but he's also taking shots from the Halberds here, which is tough. But we get a nice little punch there. Malekith's actually so low, 1100 HP. I mean, he's at just the danger zone. But it looks like the Witch King is going to be taking out Cetra today. Very, very well played in my opponent, Zach. That was an outstanding game. You guys got to see him in that best of 7. He's certainly got some skills. And that was a really fun match. I think the real make or break moment was when I charged in with these Snake Knights. I got a decent little hammer there, but one of them kind of overcharged. You know, that sometimes happens when you charge. They go far, they attack the model that's close to them. And he was able to rampage me. I really think that was, I mean, there was other mistakes, but I think that was the one that was the biggest. When he got me with the Witch Elves, I pretty much knew in my mind in that moment, I was like, this game's probably over. But I still had a chance of coming back if I could get some really good pins and attacks on Malekith, which you guys saw, of course. It was pretty close there. But yeah, the Witch Elf was really good. I liked his build. It was solid, very defensive. I was expecting like Cold Moon Knights and things like that I could really hammer with the Ushapti Great Bows, but yeah, the Ushapti Great Bows did good, and I think this build is very solid. I think it could do well. I think I need to be a little bit more effective with the Nekar Horsemen. Letting one get caught like that early, I should have been more conservative, but I really wanted to get those bolt throwers down, so that was a mistake. And yeah, letting these sneaky snakes get caught for sure. But it was a great game, man. Zach played super well, and he, when people make mistakes, it's not because it's like they're like, oh yeah, I just lost because I made a mistake. It's like, no, your opponent forced you into those mistakes by like having really good counter charges or having the Witch Elves in good position to that case. And man, he did a great job. So very well played to Zach B. Sane. I knew it. I got the name wrong in the game, so my apologies for that, Zach. Zach B. Sane. I always thought it was like Zach's Bane for some reason because I didn't see the S. So I was like, oh, Zach's Bane, like the Bane of Zach. Zach B. Sane works. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that Tomb King vs. Dark Elf showdown, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.